just something to think about. Wow. 'Cause then there was one, well, February 2nd is going to be a trip next year. 22. I'm on. Thanks for your help. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, shall we begin, or do you want to? Okay. Yeah, one thing is, who's staying for the meditation part? 2 of you? 3 of you? Okay. So how this will evolve is we'll do asana and breath work and a little bit of meditation. And then we'll end at 11. So those of you who are staying, you can just stay. And those you're leaving, or you can stay if you want, but that'll go, the meditation will go from 11:15 to 12. And she'll be bringing some chairs and stuff. So, okay, we're good, Leah. Thank you. And it's Bryant, are you going to be in the back closet the whole time? Okay. He's going to keep us, alive, and music going and whatever. So I'm Andrea Fournier. I'm the owner of the Arkansas Yoga and Therapy Center. My history of yoga has started back in the 80s. I've been doing it for about, 40 years. And I moved to Arkansas from Hawaii in 1993, right here to Fayetteville, and picked it out of the whole United States, didn't know a soul. My husband and I and our daughter didn't have jobs, and that's okay. We'll have that happen. You just do your thing. I've been doing yoga in Hawaii, and I came here and started talking to people about yoga, and that was 93, and people were like, what? So I taught the men's basketball team in 1994. Some of you were maybe aware of that, or not me doing it, but there was a really well-known basketball team, the Razorbacks. And while I was teaching them and coaching them yoga, they won the national championships. And the newspapers and the TVs were all saying, hogs do yoga. It was like, yay. Finally got people who were like, okay, I guess I could try this. And then I started with Washington Regional and ran their yoga program for 9 years. And then in 2005, opened my own studio, Arkansas Yoga and Therapy Center. In fact, every single one of you, after this session, I'm happy to give you if you don't want it, but I'm going to give you a free class at the Yoga Center. And we have over 30 classes a week. We've got about 18 teachers, and come try us. It's a studio similar to this. We look out onto a garden. We don't have a walkway. It's a garden and an outdoor deck and open high ceilings. So just to get a little beat, how many of you have practiced some form of yoga? Okay. Everybody. Wow! I love it. Well, I mean, when I used to ask that question, I didn't say, did you practice yoga? I'd say, have you heard of yoga? And then it was like a few people, and then now it's like, now I can do, and everybody's raising their hands. I love it. That's so great. Okay, so the style of yoga I teach is called VariYoga. You read it probably in the description. It's something I created about 15 years ago, 16 years ago. So I'd done a lot of training with different styles, and I finally said, okay, I'm going to create my own. And I wanted to create something that was safe and accessible and sustainable, adaptable for everybody. I don't have all the props here. We have those at the Yoga Center, but some of you brought your blocks, so I asked if everybody had a strap. And everybody does? No. Okay, we don't have extra straps. Okay. Next week when you come, if you can remember to bring, she brought a tie, a men's tie, or the tie off of your bathrobe if you have a bathrobe or something. So I like to use props because it makes it more accessible. And our style is about bringing health to the body through moving our spine in 6 natural directions. So we're going to go through some of that today, and also breath work. That'll be more on the meditation, but we do it in class too. So our spine, think about your spine. Your spine starts at the base of your head, and goes down to your tailbone, okay? And everybody talks about, oh, my back, and I usually say, well, where? My back hurts. I ask them to show me where, and they'll here or here. But so our spine, it can twist, right? We can go sideways, turn. We can go to the side. And we can do a forward bend. And we can do what's called a back bend or an extension. We live most of our life in a forward bend. Sitting in a car, sitting at the computer, on our phones. So, and we're born that way. We're born to come out of the as a fetus in the womb. We're in a forward bend. So, but moving your spine in those other directions is just super healthy for your nervous system, for your circulation, for your breath, for your everything. So we will do that. I'm sitting on a blanket. Sitting cross-legged looks like seems to be comfortable for everybody. This is called Sukasana, easy cross-legged. And what we'll start with is sitting. And if it's sitting cross-legged is like, no, my knees are, sit with your legs out. VariYoga is about varying it to make it work for you. So if you need to take your legs in front, do this variation. It's not a need, it's what serves you best, then do this, okay? So we'll start with our, a little breath work. The first breath of yoga is called Ujjayi, and it means you're breathing, just nostril breathing, in and out through your nose. And you can close your eyes, or if that's not comfortable, just look down at your mat with a soft gaze. And this music I'm playing is a tune for just to get us more into that relaxed state. You can kind of hear the beat of the sound. You can close your eyes and let your breath sort of ride on that beat. See if you can make the inhale equal the exhale. Nice and slow, nice and even. And I have a mantra when I first start class and invite my students to take it is, be present on the inhale, let go on the exhale. So be present to yourself here in the space, be present to your breath, to your body. Let go of any expectations or any past, you come with some other thoughts about yoga. I just invite you just to be present, to be here, to let go of getting it right, let go of judgment. Good. And then take it so your eyes are closed, that you just acknowledge the room. So you have the wood floor beneath you, the windows behind me, the mirror behind you, and the doors on one side and the wall with the TV on the other. So just, that's your space, or if you're watching this from home, the space that you're sitting in. And then bring your awareness to yourself, seated in your space. Connect with your legs, your hips, your thighs, your knees, your feet, your ankles. And imagine them as a foundation, a base that from there you can extend your spine, extend your torso, and grow inward. What I like to do is think about the skeleton as our support system, and let the outer body soften. So we'll begin with some movement for the head and neck. We work our way down in VariYoga. So we start with your exhale. Just slowly bow your chin forward, your head forward. Chin's going to come towards the chest. It doesn't come all the way to it. Just take your head forward. And then in this position, we'll just turn our head side to side. So you're tipping forward, and so you're shaking your head no, but it's still in a forward position. Pause with your chin in the center of your chest and raise your head back up. And then we'll turn our head side to side. Yep. And as you're doing this, just notice in your neck, shoulders, any tightness, any restrictions, have them. Good. And then pause with your face facing forward. And then what we'll do here is, I'm going to always mirror you. It was from my TV days and learned how to mirror. So what you'll do is let your left hand come out on the floor like this, just resting here. And then leave your right hand on your thigh and tilt your head to your right. Just like that. Yeah. And then Just to keep that right shoulder relaxed. Slowly lift your left hand off the floor. Not very far, but then stretch down through the fingertips as if you're trying to grab something like a block or a piece of fruit off the floor. Yeah, we're going to just do a little bit of fascia work, release for the neck. And as you keep breathing, just tilt the head back and forth, inhaling and exhaling, taking it, I call it, there's the front plane, the front body, and then the back body. And then pause and neutral with the ear right over the shoulder. Let your left hand come back. You can use your right hand, push your head to neutral. Let the right hand come down. Beautiful. And then tilt your head to the left. Relax the left shoulder. And slowly float your right hand up. Beautiful. And then we'll do that little movement of the head to the back body, to the front. And then pause with your ear kind of in line with your left shoulder, right hand to your thigh. Push your head back. Good. We'll start to move into this Sukasana sequence, the easy seated. So take your fingertips out to the side and roll the palms up. This is how we integrate our shoulders. We inhale, lift up. We create a reach and take those ribs off of our hips. And then as you exhale, twist to your right. Take your left hand to your right knee and the right hand behind you as a kickstand, so you can just push into the floor and lift through that torso, so we're not rounding the back, keeping a straight spine. Good. Yeah. Breathe. And then we'll inhale, take the arms back up, and go to your left. Using your back arm, back hand, left hand as a kickstand. Good. And then on your next inhale, come up, and we'll start this as a little vinyasa. Vinyasa means to move with breath. So we'll exhale to the right and inhale back to center. Exhale to your left and inhale center. We'll do it again. Twisting to your right as you exhale and then returning to center as you inhale. And again to your left and back to center. Now let your right hand just come down to the floor and we'll do a side bend. So there goes the spine and to the right, your torso to the right. Anchor into your left hip. Good, and breathe. You take it as far as it's comfortable for you. Everybody's different. We'll all be the master of your own mat. And then we'll inhale back up. And we'll set that left hand down, reach out, lean over to your left. Nice. And then we'll inhale back up and take that into a flow. Exhale right. Inhale center. Exhale left. And center. Go one more time to each side. And let your hands just float down to your kneecaps, and we'll start the back bend and the forward bend. So as we inhale, inhales usually you do an extension for your spine, so you're lifting your chest, you're lifting your chin, you're tilting in your pelvis. And then when you exhale, it's a flexion, compression for the belly, and you're doing a rounded C curve on your spine. Inhale the extension, and exhale the flexion. And back up again, and you're rocking over your sit bones. That's the bottom of your pelvis that you sit on, we sit on every day. Good. And then to neutral. Nice. Let's uncross our legs to release the tension in our knees and hips. And you can just tap your knees and sitting in this pose of staff pose. Okay. So we're going to now do the next warm-up sequence. These are all VariYoga warm-ups. There's 6 of them I'm teaching you, and I will repeat them each time. They're in my book. The book is here at the library. You can check it out. So we have 6 warm-ups and then 8 sort of more flows, which we will eventually move to. What I want you to do now is, this is called the Mermaid or Barbajasana. I do say Sanskrit occasionally because it's the yoga language of yoga. I do teacher trainings, and it's required in our trainings to learn it. And someone said, well, I'll learn it, but I'm never going to speak it. And I said, well, then don't say yoga. Because yoga is Sanskrit. And don't say namaste. And don't say, so it's like you go to ballet. Has anybody ever done ballet? I never did. But so what's a term that a teacher would say? Do a plie. So what's a plie? It's I don't even know what a plie is. But OK. But she didn't have to say, bend your knees, bring your feet together, whatever. You knew what plie is. So my hope is by the end of these 4 weeks, you're not going to know all the Sanskrit, but you'll know what namaste means. You'll know what Shavasana is. That's the word that most people learn after a few classes of yoga, is the word Shavasana. Shavasana means the total relaxation, yeah. Like people say, I do yoga for Shavasana. Good. When I was teaching, taught the men's Razorback for a while, and they'd walk in, 16 of them, and first thing they'd say, can we do Shavasana? I know, you got to work for it. So you're going to sit a little bit to the right side of your mat, swing your feet to the left, and then let the right foot sit right in front of that left knee. This is the way we create this foundation. This full pose, Barbajasana, is, the foot is back here. Well, really, the foot's up here. This is the final pose, and it's not super accessible. So we start with accessibility in all of our sequences. So here this is, and what we'll do is we're going to twist to your right. So again, take that right hand behind you and the left hand on your right knee, and take a nice, easy twist to your right. This one, we hold this for a couple more breaths. And then we'll turn back to face forward, and then take it to your right, to your left. It'll be a little more binding. As we call a bound twist. Twists are great for your digestion. They're great for the vagus nerve, which is part of our parasympathetic nervous system. That's why after yoga, lots of times you feel pretty content and blissed out for a little while. Beautiful. Then come back to center. Slide your right arm out, way out your reach. You're not going to the floor, but you're keeping it straight. Relax your shoulder. And then we'll take this left hand and walk it out, because you're getting some length here on the side body, and over, and reaching your left hand just past the right hand. Yep. So this is about creating length in the side body. Just hold it and breathe. And then we'll create a little flow. What you're going to do is you're going to inhale from the shoulder of the left arm, reach up and twist back. As you exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right, just a little ways. It doesn't come to the floor. You're just doing a twist. And then inhale, open up again. Exhale, thread it under. Inhale, open up. And thread it under. Beautiful. Now we'll inhale, come all the way up. And straighten your legs out. Scoot to your other side of the mat. Swing your feet to the right. You can set your left foot in front of your right knee. And then we'll twist to the left. Yeah. One more breath in and out. And then we'll, on an inhale, turn back to center. And exhale to your right. A little bit tighter twist. And then unwind. Slide your left arm out. Good. Walk your right hand out in front. Walk it slowly past that left hand. And breathe. Going for that side stretch down your right side. And then we'll start a flow. Inhale. Sweep the right arm back. Taking it behind you, turning your gaze to follow that right arm. Exhale. Thread it underneath your left. Inhale. Come up. Exhale. Under. Inhale up. And exhale. Good. And then we come all the way up. Nice. And we take our legs out, shake them out again. And we're going to actually go onto your backs. So you're going to lie down. And just hug your knees to your chest. Yep. You can rock back and forth a little bit. This is where I like to use blankets. If you did bring a blanket, you can put it underneath you to pad your back, pad your spine. The yoga center we built, the floor is wood, but it's a sprung floor. It's like a dance floor. So there's like this room is wood on top of cement, which is hard on your body over time. So, but we'll work with what we got. At least we have a yoga mat. And if you want an extra padding, they do have more mats in that closet. So, oh, I can't lie down. That's right. I got a mic on me. Oh, shoot. All right. So I'll just have to talk you through this. What I'd like you to do, this is the next sequence. It's a lower abdominal sequence. It's called Aponasana. Oh, maybe I can move my mic thing to the side. So what you'll do is you'll lie on your back, and you're there. Cap your kneecaps with your hands. Okay, this is the first one. And this is supine, believe it or not, supine cat-cow. So we did earlier a back bend, an extension when we were seated in a cross-legged position, and then we did a forward bend. So what you'll do now is you'll inhale, push your knees away from you, hold on to the kneecaps, and arch your low back. So that's an extension. Then exhale, pull your knees in and flatten your back. So that's a flexion. Inhale, push the knees away, create a little arch in your low back by just tipping your pelvis. And then exhale, pull the knees in. Nice. A couple more times. Pushing the knees away as you inhale, pulling them in as you exhale. Yes. Next time your knees are into your chest, take both hands and just wrap them around your right knee, right shin, and extend the left leg to the ceiling. Yep. Good. So you're holding your right knee with both hands. Now, a variation for this is we all different with our hips and our low backs and situations. A variation is just set your right foot on the mat with your knee bent. So keep your left leg straight in the air. Good. So we take a breath in here, and as you exhale, lower your left leg towards the floor, keeping the foot flexed until it just hovers above your mat. So it's going to go down. The toes are going towards the ceiling, not pointed. Yep, you got it. Flex is toes like you're standing on your foot. Now inhale, bring your leg back up slowly. So I'm going to do this 3 more times following your breath. So when you're exhaling, you're taking your leg down. And everybody has a different pace that they breathe at. So just see what your movement is. It's an inhale when you come leg back up. Yep. So do it one more time, down and up. And then once your leg is up in the air, we switch sides. Hug your left knee in. Straighten the right leg. And then flex the right foot. So you push through the heel, activates the muscles in that right leg, and exhale, slowly lower it towards the floor. Nice. And then back up. So this helps start to tone your leg muscles, but also your low back. You do a release on the leg down with the exhale to keep your abs engaged, protect the low back. So one more time, down and up. Good. And then once your leg is up in the air, we just hug both knees in again. Yep. And then we'll leave our knees bent, put your feet back to the mat. Knees together, feet together. And extend your arms out into a T. So bring your knees right together, bring your feet right together. So yep. Arms are into a T, good. So I want you to experiment for yourself on your shoulders here. So start out with your palms facing upward towards the ceiling. And then from your elbows down to your palms, rotate your hands so their palms go into the floor. So the palms push downward, hands. So now when you do that, just check into your shoulders. If they feel too much of a bind, then turn your palms up. Okay. Your arms, so you pick which is going to serve you. Yeah, so I'm going to have you bring your arms a little further down this way. Yeah, just relax. There you go. Good. Now, so we're going to do, this is a little twist. As you exhale, let your knees roll to the right side as you turn your head to your left. And so I want you to start, so knees are all going to the right. Start with the feet on the floor first, because it's just to check into your own spine, your low back. Head is going to the left. Good. And then on your next inhale, bring your knees up. Head faces back towards the ceiling. Then let your knees fall to the left as you look to your right. Yeah, so this is an opportunity, and I don't know where people's backs are at and where people are in their practice. So if your back feels strong, you don't feel any tweaking in your lumbar spine, which is your lower back, just above the sacrum, you can hug the knees into your chest and do the same move with the feet off the floor. So the knees come in. Now, I'm giving you these variations, so please listen to your body. And just because somebody else next to you is doing it differently, you do what's going to serve you. So when you do go the knees one direction, your head goes the opposite. That helps keep the shoulders down. That deepens the twist. Good. A couple more times to each side, synchronizing it with your breath. That's the vinyasa, is when you move with breath. Doesn't have to be hard. It can just be easy side twists like this is a vinyasa. Good. So we'll meet back in the middle, knees up towards the chest. A little bit of rocking. And then one last part of this sequence is just set your feet down on the mat. Let your arms come to your side. They don't have to be in T. They can be in a T or just down by your side. And this is just called, like, people know it as like pelvic tilts, or I call it emptying the bowl. Think about a bowl on your belly. And as you inhale, tilt the bowl towards your heels. So you arch your lumbar away from the floor, but keep your tailbone down. And then exhale, tilt the pelvis towards your heart. Flatten your back. Beautiful. Back and forth. This also helps the pelvic floor muscles. And when you're flattening to the floor and you're exhaling, hug your tailbone tightly with your glutes. When you're inhaling, you can relax. Beautiful. Now we'll just come to neutral, and we'll do the next sequence, which is called the bridge sequence. So first of all, we'll set up our bridge. And what you'll do is you'll have your feet not right together, but not too far apart. But think about where your sit bones are. So I usually say about 6 inches apart are your feet. And they don't have to be right up to your glutes, but they need to be right underneath your knees. Yeah. Arms are by your side. Palms first down, face down. And all you're going to do right now is as you inhale, push down through your hands and your feet and lift your hips towards the ceiling. Lift up. That's bridge. That's Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. That's the foundation of this sequence. That's where it gets its name. Beautiful, nice. And then lower your back down. And we'll go with the breath. So we'll do this 2 more times just with the legs. So when you inhale, lift your hips away from the floor. Press into your feet. Press down into the shoulders. And then when you exhale, come back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the hips. This is really good for the back, low back, glutes, legs, and then we're going to get the shoulders in. Nice. All right, so now, every time you're lifting your hips, you're going to do something with your arms. So the first thing we're going to do is take the right arm overhead as you lift your hips and take it all the way to the floor. As you inhale. And then exhale, bring your right arm down, bring your hips down. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the hips and take the left arm overhead. Exhale, hips and arm down. Inhale, both hips and both arms overhead simultaneously. The hips go up, arms go up. I haven't figured out a way to lift one hip at a time. If you can figure that out, let me know. Exhale, come all the way down, arms and hips. Nice. Okay, this next one is lift the hips, lift the arms. As you inhale, overhead, the arms go. Then when you come to your exhale, leave the arms where they are and slowly roll your spine all the way to the floor. Yes. A little bit more length in the back. Then inhale, raise the hips. And when you're ready, after you finish your inhale, bring everything back down together. Beautiful. You just did 1 round of Setu Bandha Sarvangasana Vinyasa. Let's do it again. If you found yourself inching to the back of your mat, it happens. One way to sort of counter that is to really anchor into your feet. Think about like an isometric movement of the heels coming towards the glutes. So let's inhale and start with the right arm. So we'll alternate arms. Lift the hips and sweep that right arm back and overhead. On your exhale, bring it back down. And the hips come down too. Inhale, lift your left arm and hips up. Exhale, down. Good. We go both arms and hips at the same time. Overhead. And arms and hips down. Let's inhale, take the arms and hips up and leave your arms overhead. And take that exhale, leaving the arms there. Let the hips come all the way down. When you're ready, inhale. Lift the hips up. And then bring everything back down. Nice. I like the way you guys are really slowing it down. Helps you stay in touch with the body. Our body is our first messenger. The breath is the first defense against stress, and then our bodies constantly talk to us. The more we listen to them, emotionally, physically, like people say, what's your gut saying? It's true. Or what's your heart saying? It's important to listen to that. Sometimes we don't give ourselves time. So by just doing these movements, you actually can tap into that, I don't know what you call it, that energy, that awareness. All right, so we're going to do the next move. So, I'm going to have to say this to next week. If you're all coming back next week, can you all bring a strap? It could be a belt. It could be jumper cables. I had a TV show. In fact, you guys can, during the week if you want, it's free YouTube for anybody who wants to watch it. It's VariYoga. There's about 45 shows. And just for fun, I was showing people like, okay, you can take book for a block. You could take jumper cables if you were desperate, you know, but you can just find a strap or a belt or something off your piece of fabric, you know. So next week, bring a belt. A sock. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can reach. I guess we could do a sock. Let's see. You've got a tie. What do you have? You have a scarf. Okay, well, we can try this. What do you have? And you've got I don't know if that'll work. What do you have a scarf? Okay. Okay. A sock? We'll try. You have a belt? Yeah. Well, I could tell when you came in, you definitely do yoga. You're propped up. I love it. There you go. You can use your jacket. You've got a belt. You're going to try with your sock? You seem quite flexible. Is this a hat? Oh, that's so cute. Yeah. Is that your mat bag? Oh, it's a bag. Okay. I don't think, well, let's try it. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, time both here. Okay, so this is all for our lower torso and legs. All right, so let's try it. Let's try it. So we're going to start with your right foot, your right leg. You'll place the strap around the ball of your right foot. That's behind the toes. So what I teach in this too is about your foot. Can I use no, you're here. Stay there. So you have your toes, then you have the ball of the foot. Then you have your arch, then you have the heel. The heel and the ball of the foot and the toes is where you carry weight. And it's where it's meant to have weight. If you're flat-footed like me, there's a lot of weight goes in the arch. But we don't want to amplify that. So we just want to keep the strap, you got it, right behind the toes, not on your arch. Yeah. And then you reach your hands up so that your elbows don't actually come right to the floor. They broaden out, so you can broaden across your collarbone. And you let the weight of your arms and gravity, very clever, yes, tie two socks together, I love it. And we're stretching that right leg. So the left knee can be bent or straight on the floor. If you choose to straighten the left leg, flex the foot as if there was a wall at the end of your foot. Or keep the left knee bent. So the hamstrings are a muscle group behind in the back of our leg. I'm going to have you do this. Push into very good. All right, so now the next move is for the adductors, which is the inner thigh. You will everybody straighten their left leg to the floor, extend your left arm out, hold the strap, the shirt, the sock, the scarf, the tie, and whoever's out there watching this, whatever you're using at home, in your right hand. Very good, I like this group. Left arm out, and you're going to slowly lower your right leg over to the right. And it doesn't go all the way to the floor. Please, that's not the intention, is to stretch your right inner thigh. You want to keep your left bum, your left thigh, anchoring towards the left. Yep, there's sort of this counter pose going on, counterbalance. Beautiful. And your left arm is out. Nice. And breathe. Most people will feel this in their inner thigh of their right leg. Yeah, just take this on. You can slide. So what you can do is slide your hand down and let your elbow be a support. There you go. So I always forget to do this. I've taught for so long. That, are you guys okay if I just come over and do a little adjustment, like I just touched your foot, and you're okay with that? Hey, King, when I did that, okay. All right, so now let's inhale, bring our right leg up. Put the strap in your left hand. Don't be in a hurry here. Just put the strap or the belt or whatever you've got. And now what I want you to do is lift your right hip off the floor a little bit. So you're pushing that right leg up towards the ceiling, lifting the hip, and then roll over to your left side. Just roll on over. Roll to the outside of your left thigh. Roll to the outside of your left foot. There, you got it. Yeah, very good. And then we're actually trying to open that right shoulder, right arm back up. But if it's a lot of we're all different in our shoulder situation. So if it's stressing in your shoulder, right shoulder, you can bend the elbow, set your hand on your thigh. You're still getting this beautiful twist. It's one of the best lower abdominal twists you can do. It's considered a non-loaded. Loaded is usually when you're working against gravity. You're working with gravity here. As you inhale, push your belly into your thigh. As you exhale, draw the navel back. Some nice deep squeeze and soak action. This activates the vagus nerve. It's one of my favorite sequences I've done. I told people, I started this sequence, I had low back issues when I was in my 20s. And I started doing this, and I was only 5'2". And I did it for so many years, I grew to be 6 feet tall. All right, so inhale, bring your right leg back up. Oh, all right, so put the strap back in your right hand or the sock. Let's everybody bend their left knee. Set your left foot on the mat. There you go. This is called half happy baby, Arda, Ananda, Balasana. And what you'll do is slowly bend the right knee and nudge it down towards your right underarm, right out to the side of your torso. And then inhale, straighten your leg up to the ceiling. And then bend again as you exhale. Yep, try and keep your shin perpendicular to the floor so the sole of the foot faces the ceiling. Nice. Couple more times. Down on your exhale. Straight up on your inhale. Good. So now, pause with your knee bent. Slip your strap, your scarf, your sock off your right foot, and bring your right ankle to your left thigh near your knee. This is called thread the needle, Suchi Randrasana. I want you to lift your left foot off the floor and thread your, some of you guys have done this before, I can see. Thread your right arm underneath your right calf. Yes, yes. And hold your shin, if you can, or the back of your thigh, your left thigh. So hold here. And is that okay? Good. So now you've got your hands around your knee, your left knee or your left thigh. Straighten your right leg to the ceiling. Not your left, your right. There you go. Excellent. The other right. The other right. The other right. That one, yeah. The other right. There you go. Okay, so now we're going to exhale and lower your right leg all the way to the floor. And just let it stay there on the floor. Anchor it down. Keep that right foot down. And as you exhale, round up and see if you bring your nose to your left knee. Just in that direction. It doesn't have to touch. Good. And then inhale, lie back down to the mat. 2 more times. Exhale up. Inhale back. And we always do anything to do with the abs and you're shortening your abs, you're always exhaling a flexion and inhaling an extension. Good. Was that 3 times? If you want to go one more, you can. All right, so we're going to start that whole sequence on the other side. Who remembers it? You'll get it. I think I can remember it. So strap, scarf, sock, belt around your left foot behind the toes on the ball of the foot. And we'll reach up. And if you bend the elbows, do so. And you can keep the right knee bent or leg straight. If you choose to straighten the leg, flex your foot as if it was pushing against a wall. Pushing against activate the muscles in that leg. Very good. Keep the kneecap going towards the ceiling. My original training is a style of yoga called Iyengar. Very precise, we had to do, I've softened a little bit, but alignment is really important to me. Harper? We'll just sit up for a minute. Yeah. Modify, that's okay. Yeah. Right, so put the strap in your left hand, please. And extend the right arm out and slowly descend your left leg over to your left. Yeah. Anchor back into your right hip, right leg. Just going for that inner thigh stretch. The other thing I didn't say on the other leg, this is a pretty intense inner thigh stretch, but it also can aggravate the knee. So if your knee is feeling this, tension or tightness, please give it a slight bend. I'm always talking about never lock your knees, ever. If you go to a yoga class, the teacher says lock your knees, keep your knees slightly bent. I'm always about protecting the joints. Hyperextension is a big issue for our knees. Good. On your next inhale, raise that left leg up. Strap goes into your right hand. Lift your left hip up first so we can keep that sacrum in neutral. Lift the hip, left up, hip up, and over to your right you go. Rolling on over, rolling to the outside of that right thigh. Beautiful. Left arm goes back into a T, if that's accessible for you. Or let the left hand rest on your left hip. Full inhales and exhales. Think about what activity is going on. You're helping the lower digestive system, your lower abdominals, your vagus nerve. Nice full breaths in and out, letting your belly push towards the thigh. Good. And then on your next inhale, let's bring that left leg back up. Everybody bend your right knee and set your right foot on your mat. And then we'll put the strap in our left hand. Half happy baby. So we just gently pull that left knee down towards that left underarm, keeping your shin perpendicular to the floor. Very nice. And then straighten. And bend. So the sequence helps us move our legs, but it helps circulation into our legs, which helps our hips, our low back. Gives you good range of motion. You're moving your hips and you're flexing them, you're extending them, you're twisting them. Good. Legs are part of the hips, pelvis, all that's together. All right, the next time you have your left knee bent, take your strap off and have the right knee bent and bring your left ankle to your right knee this time. So we're going to thread the needle on this side. So you're going to take your left hand underneath your left calf. Bring that right foot off the floor. So if you thread under here. No, this arm's good. I'm going to take that one. There you go. Yeah, good. It's a great stretch for the piriformis muscles in the low back and the sacrum area, also into your glutes. So now I want you to straighten that left leg towards the ceiling. Yep, that left leg. Good. Keep the right knee into your chest, and then slowly lower your left leg to the floor. And leave it down. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, raise up and bring your head towards your knee, as close as you can get it. Good. Inhale back. 2 more times. Come up. And you take it down on your inhales. Sorry. And then exhale up 1 more time. Good. And then we'll straighten that right leg to the floor. So you got both legs straight down on the floor. Extend your arms overhead. Full body stretch. Ooh, nice. Yep, you can move the hands, feet, however. So we'll do a couple more for our legs. What I'd like you to do is leave your arms out in a T or by your side, whichever is comfortable. Bend your knees for me, and then I invite you to take your feet as wide on your mat as you, there we go. Just to the edge of your mat, the side edge of your mat, with your knees bent. Yep. So take your feet wider apart. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is to show you what our capability of our legs again. So we're going to do an outer rotation for the right leg and an inner rotation for the left. And what it looks like, people call this in the yoga world windshield wipers. So you'll slowly lower both knees to your right. Outer rotation for the right leg, inner rotation for the left. I'm going to guess that most of you are feeling a good stretch in the top of your left thigh. Good. And so bring it back up and go the other way. So we call this windshield wipers. It's because you're moving your legs from one direction to the other. Use your breath, inhaling when the legs come up, exhaling when the legs go down. So this is funny. We call it windshield wiper. There's no Sanskrit name for it. Then I tell people, I say, okay, which way do your windshield wipers work in your car? And it gets a good laugh because people don't remember. Do they go in and out? Do they go side to side? Or if you have a big Mercedes, it just is one big. Yeah, so this is, when you're doing this, think about your legs. The leg, let's say you're taking it to the left now. The left hip is an outer rotation and the right knee, right thigh is an inner. So our hips can move in 6 natural directions too. They can, like a spine, they can do a little revolving. They can do side bends. They can do flexion and extensions. Good. Okay, so have you come to neutral. And we're going to move into Shavasana. Shavasana, Shava means corpse. So I'm not asking you to die here. I'm asking you to go into a place of stillness. And your options, because we don't have a whole lot of props, but if you want to leave your knees bent or straighten your legs underneath you, if your low back's a little bit tight, tell me and I can show you an adjustment you can do. So you're going to lie down on your backs. Is this, because I'm thinking for you, tell me your name. Sharon? Sherry. So do you want to do this lying down or would you rather do it sitting up?
I might have to do it sitting.
Okay, so let's put you against the wall with your mat. Well, okay, what I could ask you is, let's go like this. How often do you practice yoga? Where do you go? Okay. Okay. Yeah. The night classes. This is more your pace. Yeah. And the night classes. Okay. So don't sit right up to your hips, right? Not too far, but just so you can lean back and feel. How's that? Good. Okay. You're welcome. There's nothing like being tucked in for Shavasana. We got blankets at the yoga center. I go around and just tuck everybody in. Oh, good. Legs at the wall. You know that one. Okay, good. So you're going to start with the breath like we did at the beginning of class, if you haven't started that already, and just allow yourself those full inhales and exhales. And again, when you're inhaling, be present. When you're exhaling, let go. And with every exhale, I invite you to just let the body release a little more. To let the body melt further into the floor, in whatever position you're in. On your backs, seated, legs up the wall. Sometimes Shavasana is the hardest because our monkey minds start going again. We're not concentrating on our moves. We just are lying here. So if that happens, it's okay. It's just notice. Be kind to yourself. Just come back to the breath. No judgment. As you settle into letting go, I'm going to read just these. I have this saying, the 4 A's of, I call it aging. We all are, no matter what age you are, since the time you come out of the womb, you're aging. We notice it more the older we get. The 4 A's are, and you can use it not necessarily for aging, you use it just for life, when something changes in your life, positive or negative. Acknowledge it. And then accept. And not accept like a doormat, more like acknowledge, accept, allow. Then adjust to the situation. And then the last one is then appreciate. And appreciate, that's a hard one for me if it's a negative thing. But then it's like I turn it around and look at, I appreciate that it's bringing me something to look at, something to move through. life is not always a bowl full of cherries. It might be a chair full of bullies. So give yourself time here in this space to just acknowledge, accept, adjust, and appreciate. Please begin to deepen your breath, bringing yourself back into your bodies. Notice yourself in the space. Notice the stillness in your bodies and the calmness in your minds. Let the breath be the first movement. Intentional breath of big inhales and exhales. And then begin to move your fingers and toes. Feet and hands. Arms and legs. And then bend one knee at a time and just roll over to your side and rest on your side in that first yoga pose of our life, fetal position. Good. And then I invite you to just use your hands and your elbows. Keep your spine in a neutral position and just push yourself up to sitting. Good. Welcome back. So at the Yoga Center, we close with 3 ohms, but we've been being cautious with COVID. So there's a breath in yoga. There's a lot of breaths, pranayama breaths. It's called Brahmari. It means big bumblebee, and you're just basically humming. So instead of going like this, we're going to go, okay? Great. So we'll do it 3 times. And I say that oming 3 times is the first one is for yourself. Om is the sound I call the dial tone of the universe. It's what connects us all. It's just out there. We can't see it, can't hear it, so we sort of om. And it's 3 syllables, A-U-M, but we sort of sound it as an O-M. Second om is for us and your family, your friends, your people you know in the world and here. And the third one is for just the world at large, just sending out that sense of well-being and peace and understanding. So you can leave your hands on your thighs or bring them in for this is a gesture called Anjali Mudra. It means to honor and to offer. If you don't feel comfortable putting your hands in front of your heart, you can put your hands like this. You can put your hands one on the throat, one on the chest, leave them on your thighs. Many options. So we'll take a deep breath in together. And then exhale before you hum. And then we'll begin after the next inhale. So take another breath in. And begin. Breath in. May the energy of the universe that encircles us all bring you each peace, joy, love, understanding, wisdom, and wonder in your lives just as they unfold. From my heart to yours, namaste. Now go have a great day.